Okay, today I'm going to be cooking from Larousse Gastronomique. I'm going to try and do a recipe as closely as possible to what this encyclopedia describes, but the problem with this encyclopedia is the directions are pretty sparse. So I'm not sure what I'm going to come up with, but today we're going to try chicken Waterzooi. I don't even know if that's how you pronounce it, but it starts by poaching a chicken in broth, then cutting it up, putting it in a casserole with the vegetables and some of that chicken stock, letting it cook, and then adding cream to it and letting it reduce further, and then seasoning it and serving it. So theoretically pretty simple. So let's see how easy this is. So the first thing required by this recipe is 1 leek, 1 celery stalk, 1 onion with 2 cloves pressed into it. We're going to slice the celery and the leek. We're going to leave this whole. We're going to put 2 cloves in it, and we're going to put all of that in the stock. That's our leek. I'm not trying to get too precious with this either. So I basically have my pot here that is the size of a pot that I usually use for cooking pasta in it. And then I just have some store-bought chicken broth. I don't know how much I need because I got to fit everything in this pot. So I'm just going to put one of these boxes in here. It's probably about 3 cups. Get that going. Of course, my burner's not lighting right now. Like most chefs, I have to improvise. Not sure why that's not working. So the next is just to add a bouquet garni, which is a bay leaf, thyme, and parsley. So some people put it in a nice little bag or some sort of tea steeper. I just throw it in, and I don't really know how much I need, so that looks good. Let that heat up a little bit, and then throw the chicken in it and add some more stock, and then poach it for about 40 minutes. So here's the bird. She's about 4 pounds, a little under 4 pounds. Cost about 13 bucks, a little bit on the expensive side, but it came from a premium grocer, which you don't need to use. So there goes the chicken. I'm going to put some more stock in. I'm only going to put about 3 more cups in. So in total, we're talking about 9 cups of chicken broth with a 4-pound chicken, 1 leek, 1 celery stalk, 1 bouquet garni, 1 whole onion with 2 cloves stuck in it. And that actually turned out perfect. So we're just going to let that poach now for about 40 minutes. I might leave it on there for 50 minutes since the water's not up to temperature, but frankly, I don't know whether poaching starts with cold liquid or with simmering liquid. So we'll just see what happens. We're about 15 minutes into poaching the chicken. It's starting to smell really nice in the kitchen, but we need to prepare for the next phase, which is to simmer some vegetables in the stock for about 30 minutes. And those vegetables are 1 carrot, 1 celery stalk, and 1 leek. Next stop, take out the chicken. So we have about 10 minutes left on the poaching, and I have prepared the vegetables in the Dutch oven that we are going to take some of the broth from this pot and put it in this pot. And then we're going to cook this pot with the vegetables in the broth for 30 minutes. While this is cooking for 30 minutes, I'm going to have that chicken out on my cutting board, and I'm going to be cutting it up into pieces that we're then going to return to this pot with more broth to cover it, and then it'll cook an additional 30 minutes. So in total, this recipe requires, a little over an hour and a half of actual cooking time. So while the chicken is cooking, I'm actually going to heat up some Pinot Noir and add a little mixture of rum and spices to it to make some hot mulled wine, otherwise known as Gluehwein or Glühwein, depending on what country you're in. The spice mixture here is essentially, for one bottle of wine, you need 4 ounces of either vodka or rum or whiskey, and in it you're going to throw 10 cinnamon sticks, about 20 cloves whole, little lump of ginger, that's that white thing swimming around near the bottom, an orange peel, and you got to let that sit overnight, and then we're gonna strain it into this pot. We're gonna pour the wine into the pot, and we're just gonna heat it up, and then we're gonna drink it while we cook the rest of this meal. Now that our chicken is finished its 40 minutes of poaching, I'm gonna pour some of this. I'm gonna take the chicken out, and I'm going to pour some of the stock in with these vegetables, which we're going to simmer for 30 minutes. And there we go. 30 minutes of just vegetables simmering. While this is simmering, we're going to cut up the chicken into pieces. So here we have our poached chicken, although it's not fully poached. It's only 40 minutes poach, which is going to get you about 2/3 of the way to done. But we need to cut it up and get some pieces so that we can put it back into the casserole dish. So I'm just going to, so you're going to see some red. It's going to be a little gnarly looking, but it's not fully cooked. So, but it's cooked enough so that you can easily get through it. There we have a leg. A thigh, another leg and thigh, and do some wings. I am not a butcher by trade. Oh! When that happens, you're just going to rinse the wing off, let your dog lick the floor, and life goes on. Try to get the other wing off without too much trauma to my kitchen. That's the back part. You can leave the back in if you want. I don't know, the spine. Some people take it out. I'll probably leave it out because this bad boy looks pretty good. Again, we're not trying to be precious here. We're just trying to get the job done. So right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces. I'm going to toss the backbone. So it's... Now we put the chicken in the broth with the rest of the broth. And you can see right next to it is Gluehwein that I'm drinking. 30 minutes left.
Just strain the broth and add 3/4 of a cup of cream and simmer down into a smooth, silky sauce and enjoy. It's kind of like cream of chicken soup. Instead of adding cream, you can simply add cooked noodles to have a chicken noodle soup.